All right, Slick. So what are we covering today in terms of years? Ooh, excellent. Let's do it. Okay, so now that this is episode 10, and of course, this is it. This is the final episode for the series of You Can't Take the Rock Out of Me documentary. I just wanted to just recap it a little bit about the whole series. First of all, everybody that's watched it, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me that people actually watch this. This is great. And that I could share my stories about where I came from and how I came to where I am now in 2023, 40 years later. And my biggest goal was to inspire people to, whether it's music or anything else, just do it. And young and old, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, just go for it. That's what I did. I stayed with it, really stayed with it. A lot of persistence, a lot of patience, but it worked out. It actually paid off because music really did save my life. I'm not kidding when I say that. It has been something that's been the savior in so many different situations that I've been in, and it helped. A lot of people to thank. Not a lot, but there's some. Thank you to, first of all, to everybody who watched it. I don't know who you are, because when they say you've had so many views, I don't know who those people are, but whoever you are, thank you. Number two, my wife, of course, Stephanie. My wife, Stephanie, oh boy. May last year in 2022, she's the one that encouraged me to keep doing it. Because I had shot a bunch of video and I said, this is dumb. And I said, this is stupid. Nobody's going to watch this, which I was wrong. There were people who watched it, which I was surprised. But she did say, you're not going to regret this. She says, just do it. Tell your story. Yeah, actually, you may have a good story to tell about where you came from and just inspire others to do this, to do either music or something else. But you know, people who always have some sort of story or challenge behind them shouldn't stop them, and it didn't stop me. So I thank her for that. That's a big deal, and I love you. I love you, sweetheart. You were awesome in the videos. You were awesome shooting the video in episode 4 with Rob. You did great on that, and she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So yeah. You know, it's my wife, of course. How could you not think that and say that? She's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and she's pretty beautiful too. So, to boot. So I'm very lucky, very fortunate. Of course, my mom, my aunt, all my friends. Oh my God, you guys are the best. Yeah, you guys are really, you're good people, and I'm really, again, part of doing this documentary was to just say how lucky I am to know the people that I know and the people that I've been with, and you see that in the videos with the friends that I have, amazing friends. I lucked out, and lucky to have them in my life. And part of the other reason that I did this was because I think no matter how unknown, as I call myself online on social media, the Canada's most unknown rocker you'll ever meet, because that is true. Nobody knows who I am until now. I guess they'll start seeing what Planet Cool Music is, and you know, I wanted to tell also the story of Planet Cool Music, which you see in the background, the five sessions that I've done. Well, 5 years, a session every year, and I thought that was like a brilliant way to, instead of doing albums, doing it as sessions. And those have been probably the best things I've done for myself, because I created something, and now it's something. It's a force. So and the music is good. I'm probably the biggest fan, but what I learned through that is understanding where I came to, how I came from where I am in 1983 to now, to be able to do this, Planet Cool Music, and just my process of learning music and recording music. So all good stuff. I mean, everybody has a different story. My story is probably not that different than other musicians that grew up on rock, but My story's a little different in that, you know, I did have challenges, learning disabilities. I didn't understand it right at first with music, didn't get it, but I did get it eventually, and that's good. Thank God I had to, because if I could do that, I might as well. I guess I did learn it. And I truly do understand how music is now put together, which I'm eternally grateful for, because it makes it easier when you're songwriting and playing with others. And the documentary showed me also, you know, how lucky I am to have the people I have in my life, but also how each one of them really did influence me, maybe not musically, but just with life. But the most important part of the documentary too, it was a big factor in the documentary, was the stories. Some of those stories I had forgotten, and some of those stories are really fun to tell. Like, you know, my stories of going to different concerts, but also, you know, when I met Lemmy from Motorhead and Rick Emmett, and how I learned from those, even though it may have been brief as an encounter, I did learn something from them, and I learned that, you know, they're just like me, and they just won the lottery. They were just able to do something that they love, but they were able to make money on it. I haven't yet, but it's never too late. But also, more importantly, they go through the same challenges musically, in songwriting, guitar playing, playing with the guitar when they're singing, like Rick Emmett. All those things was something that I had learned from different people. You know, you learn something from everyone, and just getting the chance to meet some of these people was, you know, a great story, and that's why it's in the documentary. So I wanted to fill that all in, and also the people that had influenced me, that I had not met personally, but had a big, huge part of my life musically, in terms of, like, you know, Eddie Van Halen, Neil Peart, Dusty Hill from ZZ Top, of course, and, you know, others. You know, Lemmy from Motorhead, how he changed my whole style of bass playing and how I see songwriting. So you hear the common theme. Songwriting is the whole thing. Without the song, there is no music. There is no rock without the song. So one piece of advice, learn to write songs, because it may not get out there and be worldwide or whatever, but at least you've said something. It's your voice, and that's my voice, and that's what playing cool music is all about for me. It's the voice. It's my voice and what I see. So if you ever want to know who I really am, read my lyrics. You'll know where I'm coming from. But hey, it's been a great trip. I did it all of 2022, shooting the video, putting it together, editing. I'll be editing this, of course. Probably talk too long, so yeah, 7 minutes. So there you go. You know, I have to cut that down. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I've been able to use all my music from Planet Cool Music as the background music. Nothing from anybody else is used in the documentary. It's all me. So I'm pretty proud of that. Alright, so now that it's 2023, 40 years ago, 1983, there were some really pivotal albums that came out at that time when I was starting to learn to play guitar. Some really key classic albums, actually, and I'll just go through a couple of them, or a few of them. And here's the first one, AC/DC, Flick of Switch. That was a decent album, probably their best album in that time period. I know, Back in Black, for those about to rock, but right after those two albums, Flick of a Switch came out, and it was brilliant. It's so raw, and it's the energy and the songs on there are really good. Bedlam in Belgium being my favorite, and then of course Flick of Switch, and other songs. So that was a good album. That was a really good album. Of course, Holy Diver, Dio. Can't go wrong on that. My first introduction to Dio as a solo artist, but I knew of Black Sabbath and Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules too. So, but that year, for 1983, Holy Diver came out, and what an album. Not much more to say about that album than, if you don't know Dio, go check him out, and it's a really good album. What a classic album, and what an album to start learning guitar and learning how to play those songs. Rainbow in the Dark, right? Oh, Kiss, Lick It Up. Man, Lick It Up was like just as good or better than Creatures of the Night. Those two albums in that time frame, brilliant. Really good rock albums. Eric's drumming is superior. The writing is really tight and really good. The energy of the album is awesome. Every song on that album actually rocks. It's classic. And of course, Vinnie Vincent was the songwriter on the album for some of the songs, and he actually wrote some really decent songs and played some really good riffs on that album. Really, really good highlighted album for me in the Kiss catalog, especially some of the songs like Fits Like a Glove, All Hell's Breaking Loose, On the Eighth Day. Awesome songs. And then, of course, the band that I always talk about a lot is Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind, Revelations, Flight of Icarus, The Trooper. Do I have to say any more? Excellent album. What a great album to start with when you're learning guitar. Perfect album. And then there was Metallica. I didn't know Metallica that well, but somebody gave me a tape of them, and it was for Kill 'Em All. And it was like, these guys are different. I like it. And the sound was great, and just the drumming, everything about Metallica. And of course, from there, you know, there's Ride the Lightning that came later on, and Master of Puppets with Cliff Burton. Brilliant first album for them. Kill 'Em All. What a classic. So another great album to go and learn from when you're starting to play guitar in 1983. Of course, Triumph. Never Surrender. Well, what a decent album that was. And what a classic. Never Surrender. Lay It on the Line. World of Fantasy. When the Lights Go Down. I mean, all those songs really tight and really good. And of course, Rick Emmett does a little, you know, classical guitar thing that he did on that album too. Great stuff. So, oh man, what a year that was. 1983 with that album and all the other albums. But especially this one last album that I'll talk about, and that's ZZ Top Eliminator. When I was learning in 83, I was learning about blues music, and I got a book called the Bible of Blues Music, and they really explained 12-bar structure and everything. And what an amazing album to flow into with Eliminator from ZZ Top, because it was very simplistic but complicated at the same time. But learning the songs by ear was not that hard in some cases. I was able to learn the majority of the album, actually probably all the album. There's I Got 6, Give Me Your 9, TV Dinners. Those were ones that were not as well known. But of course, you know, there's, you know, Got Me Under Pressure, Legs, Sharp Dressed Man, Give Me All Your Loving. What a great album to learn from, but also a huge album for ZZ Top. Still had that bluesy edge, but they had this, you know, other edge that they were trying out, and it worked. It worked really well. Those songs that I learned were really the foundation of going towards 1986 for songwriting. So, wow, 83, 40 years ago, look at all those albums that came out, and that I was totally influenced by. Great year for albums, and still have them, still play some of those songs, so they don't go away. That's the beauty of music. It lives on, and they're strong, especially with the Dio stuff, and of course Maiden. You can't say anything more than that, right? So great year. I can't believe they're 40 years old, because we're in 2023 now. It just doesn't make sense, but it is. Alright, so the Planet Cool process, or my songwriting process, however you want to look at it. So here's how it works. Usually I come up with a title, or a working title, and then what I would do from there is come up with some hook or chorus idea for the lyrics. Sometimes I just put some ideas down, but more importantly, I come up with a structure saying, how do I want this to sound? Who do I kind of want to sound like, and how do I want to structure it? Meaning, what kind of intro do I want? How many bars I want to do it? So I kind of figure out that structure a little bit straight through the song. And then what I do is I go into the drums, do the drum tracks, because that's the tempo, the beat, that's the backbone of everything. And then I go in after that, do the guitars, make the guitars sound really cool with those beats in stages. Like in my Audacity program, I do it in like this is the chorus, this is the verse, and it's not arranged, it's not mixed at that point. It's all raw. And then at that point, I go into the bass, do the bass guitars to the guitars and the drums, and then I go in there and do the arrangement. So the arrangement is the key, and the magic of arranging is that you get to hear different parts, and sometimes they change around. But I go from start to finish, intro to the end of the song, arranged as a file, and then I hear it as a whole piece, and then I can feel if that's intuitively, if that's the right fit, is that the right riffs in the right places, and then from there I hum the melodies, or even sing the lyrics if I have them into the different parts, and then I go in and do the vocals of the recording of the actual final vocals. Then we mix, and then with the mixing, that's also the big final part where the magic can happen, where you mix something a little louder, a little lower, and makes the song all different and better. So that's the big key right there. So that's the songwriting process that I go through in recording. So it's took a few years to develop that and to really fit comfortably with that. And the question, does the melody come first or the chord change? It depends. There is no rules. That's the biggest thing. Use your intuition when you're writing and creating, especially with music. And the other big part is what comes first. There really is no rules. It depends on the song, it depends on the ideas, it depends how it all comes together. Every song I've done has been a bit of an adventure and different, but the general trend is what I just described as the process. Okay, so in explaining the process, I thought with Audacity, which is what I use for recording Planet Cool music, I thought I'd show you an example of the song that I did in 2023 called 40 Years, 40 Ways, great song. And I thought I'd show the different parts in that what I'm talking about. So here's the drums first as a track. So that's the drums, and that was in the verse. So I would do different sections, verse, chorus, all separately, and then arrange them all in one with the different parts all put together. Now, an example of what it sounds like with just guitars. Here we are. And that's the guitars for the intro. And then we go into the verse. And that is just the guitar tracks, which I would do after with the drums. So here's what it is with the drums. So here we go. This is with the drums and the guitars. So that's what I would do with that. And then when you get to the bass, because the bass would be next, I would then record the bass with it. So with the verse for this song, it goes like this with the bass. You hear it, right? That's the bass you're hearing in the background with the guitars and the drums. So you've got the guitars, you got the bass, you got the drums. Everything was done in stages and tracks. Then I put them all together, arranged them, and then I get into the vocal part, which then sounds like this with the other tracks. So with that, when I have all that and it's all, recorded and it's raw, then I go in and I mix the whole thing, putting effects and doing some things in between, and then it's mixed up and then uploaded to all the platforms I'm on, which is Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, my websites. So it's all there. Okay, so the 2023 Planet Cool Sessions started in August of last year, 2022, and then went from there to the fall with having the drums done in the summer, going into the fall with guitars and bass, and then arranging in the late fall, which November and December I was arranging, getting everything put together. And then going into the new year, 2023, with the vocals, which I did the first 5 because February 23rd, it was the first release of the first 5 songs. Because every 23rd of the month, 5 songs would come out. Because there's 20 songs and 1 instrumental, making it 21 altogether. And that's how that all came about. And it came out really good. I was really proud of it. And it's probably the best sessions I've ever had. So you'll have to check it out. Again, 20 songs. They're on the screen so right now, with the one being an instrumental. They will be on all the platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, and on YouTube there'll be lyric videos showing the lyrics on the screen. So it's going to be good. I'm pretty proud of it. And there we go. That was the 2023 sessions. Not sure what's going to happen in 2024, but it's going to probably sound different. But overall, the big highlights, I would say, is Napalm Love, TCH, absolutely, 40 Years, 40 Ways. Definitely the instrumental, 5.6 cc Proof. That was really good. That came out really well as an instrumental. And Knuckleheads, Legends of Metal, Sacred Pillage came out really well in terms of the songwriting. That had to be rewritten a few times. There's quite a few, not a lot of songs, but a few songs that had to be rewritten because intuition-wise that it didn't fit. It didn't work yet. And thank God I re-recorded it and rewrote it because it came out much better after. I have a song called Guard Down, which is a really good, heavy, theme, don't let your guard down kind of thing. Primal Agony is a very, very Maiden type song. It's interesting. I've taken like all the bands that I was influenced by, like Maiden, Motorhead, Judas Priest, Kiss, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, putting all those together, Dio, putting them all together, putting them in a blender. And that's what you've had for the last 5 years with the Planet Cool sessions, but especially this year, I was able to recap that really nicely this year. So, every 23rd, starting in February, 5 songs a month are going to come out, and it's good. I'm extremely proud of it. Check it out. It'll be on all the platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, a TikTok library will have my songs, plus the usual SoundCloud, and of course my website, planetcoolmusic.com. Check it out. It came out really good, so I can say I did it, and I made it really good this year. Okay, so the future of Planet Cool Music and just what I'm going to be doing from this point on after this documentary. And there's a couple things that are going to happen. First of all, Planet Cool Music will have sessions every year. So there will be a 2024, not sure what that's going to sound like or what that's going to be, but there will be a 2024 and so on. So that won't stop. Might be shorter songs, might be a shorter song list. I might only do 8 songs next year or 10 songs, and then so on, maybe just doing, maybe 6 to 8 songs every year, which, will be manageable because of the other things I want to try in terms of what I want to do with the other section of Planet Cool Music, which is incorporate from this documentary, You Can't Take the Rock Out of Me, as a podcast, a show that, talks about the lifestyle of music, playing music as a person that works full time and just is the unknown Canadian rocker kind of idea, but also just talking with people as guests, talking about music and just life as a whole, because music is part of life, as with movies and other creative endeavors. So I want to do that, and I want to talk to other people about their endeavors, whether it's music or any other kind of artistic thing. I would love to interview songwriters, both famous and not famous. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how I can manage to do that. But I would love to talk to songwriters about songwriting itself. So that's the kind of ideas that I've got for You Can't Take the Rock Out of Me. I really want to push that one along the way, because I think, based on the views and the things that I've seen up to now and the reaction, I think it will work. I think we can create something that will work. Along with that, I just like to be able to consult and talk to people about their music and where they're at, and encourage them to continue or to keep doing what they're doing, or to start. Maybe they played earlier in their life and they stopped and they want to do it again. I'd be their little coach, telling them they should do it again and they should totally not stop. So and just continue and just encourage them and do a little bit of consulting on that part of things, or teach different styles of music, but also just teach about music as a whole, like the general theory and what you really should know when you're playing out there and you want to play, and write songs, because I think writing songs is a big part of it. I think it's a really good stress relief. Also allows you to just have your voice, because my voice is playing cool music. So if you ever want to know where I'm at and what I'm thinking about, read the lyrics to the songs. You'll know what I think about things and how I see things, and it's a great way to put that down, because you don't have to do it. There's different platforms to do it, right? In the future of Planet Cool Music, and it already happened, but we're going to be putting stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok as their library. We're on SoundCloud, of course, YouTube. There's the website. I want to increase the website in terms of just the interactive part of it, and just make that a little bit better. And just social media wise, I just want to get more into that, just to be more present on there, and just giving updates and just talking about music, playing music in front of people on social media with the guitar or whatever. And lastly, that's tied to that is the live portion of it. I do have some ideas how I could do it as a solo thing for live music, and I want to see Planet Cool Music go live. I want to see it played live in different places. I have some concepts and ideas, not necessarily with a band, but maybe with a band. I'm still working that out, but there is a portion of Planet Cool Music where you could go to a place like a bar or any other kind of venue, and you see me there, it is just me, and it sounds full and loud, and the songs come out perfectly the way it's supposed to be heard live. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be really cool. And like I said, for the future of Planet Cool Music, I want to really emphasize that heavy rock for the rest of us, because it's not just about the music, it's about everything else. Because I feel like there's a section of us that are kind of ignored, and this is our tribe, this is our music, this is our lifestyle, this is where we think about things, and I want to build that. I want to build that around the world and see what people are thinking, and joined as a group, and just have that big voice, and the music being that to unite that. So got to think big. I want to see this going around worldwide with the music, and who knows, maybe eventually with my concept of how I want to do this live, maybe there'll be an interest across the other parts of the world, especially like Japan, Germany, Europe, Poland, South America. I could see them liking this stuff. I could see them going, hey, this is cool stuff and cool music. So I mean, that's a big, lofty goal, but you know what? Why not? You gotta dream big, and that's the whole point of the future of Planet Cool Music. Take it where it goes. I didn't think from 2018 that I'd actually be doing this right now, especially a documentary. Never thought I'd be doing that. So the fact that I'm doing that right now and that it's coming out this way, who knows? Who knows what you can do? Stay with it, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're writing or you're painting or you're doing anything in a creative sense, stick with it. You just never know. Put yourself out there, and take everything with a grain of salt when people say things about your stuff, and just go with your intuition. If you really believe in it, that's the big part. And that's my take on the future of Planet Cool Music. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually having a great time, and I'm looking forward to what the next years to come with the sessions, because the sessions are the best. They're the foundation of Planet Cool. And 2023 is no different. It is really good. I'm really proud of this one this year. So it's going to keep going. I'm not going anywhere. So Stick around and take a look at what I create with Planet Cool Music and Planet Cool as a brand of music.
She's alright, cocaine. She's alright, cocaine.
Way over to the corner all alone. Wheels in the jams and the very saw square. You know he's running barefoot using wooden chairs. Let's rock! Everybody, let's rock! Everybody in the whole cell block dancing to the jailhouse rock. Shifting on his own, and they all having say. No one's been looking out of there, doesn't break. Crazy burning guns, and you know what he said. Next drum on the jam, let's rock! Everybody, let's rock! Everybody in the whole cell block dancing to the jailhouse rock. 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 Dancing to the jailhouse rock.
So here we are, finally, the end of the documentary, You Can't Take the Rock Out of Me. 40 years of playing music and learning how to figure it out and putting it all together, and with Planet Cool Music coming together from the last 5 years. So it's a lot to celebrate and a lot of good things. Here's my message to you First, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. The views really mean a lot to me. It seems like people were starting to see what my story was about, and I did want to share that story of how I stuck with it, and that it's really important that if you really believe in something and you believe in yourself, it can happen. I promised myself at 10 years old that I would play rock and roll for the rest of my life, and you know what? I made that happen, and I'm pretty proud of that, and I did it. I made that happen, so pretty proud of that. For all of you out there, whether you're a writer, artist, movie maker, musician, singer, I don't care what it is in the creative end, whatever that is, young or old, if you believe in yourself and you believe in what you do and you have a message, you have a voice that you want to put out there and you want to say something, go for it. I'm doing it. If I can do it, you can do it. And within the music realm, if you need any kind of advice or consultation or direction, definitely reach out to me at info@planetcoolmusic.com. I will definitely reach out to you and we'll work it out. We'll figure something out. That's one of my goals moving forward from this documentary, is I want to teach others what I know, young and old, because I think you can do it. Anybody can do this. The other thing too is with the documentary being the way it was and how it came out, both in the sense of me watching it myself and people commenting, something good's gonna come soon. I have an idea, I have a concept for You Can't Take the Rock Out of Me as a show. So stay tuned, something will be coming. I'm just developing it and figuring it out as I go, and getting some people to help me with that. And of course, we can never forget why this even started and why this is even here and why I'm even doing it from when I was 10 years old. Is because I wanted to play rock and roll, loud rock and roll, heavy rock. And you see there in the back, Planet Cool Music, Planet Cool. That's ongoing. That is not going anywhere, anyway, anytime. I am good to go. You will see a lot more of me. I will be making a lot more music every year. We're going to do some more sessions. And just stay tuned. You're going to see a lot of stuff. So again, I thank every one of you that either helped me make this thing or watched it, made comments, or just supported me. You guys are the best, really. You guys are just awesome, and I thank you. I did it. I actually made a documentary, and I actually did it. I stuck it out for 40 years, and I got a music brand that's happening, and it's going to possibly go on to Spotify and Apple Music soon. So this is great. I'm getting out there. So listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, believe in yourself, make it happen, whatever it is you want to do as a message. You take care. We'll see you again, definitely shortly. And of course, you can't take the rock out of me. Damn right. See ya.
Over the years, spread the rich, we are fear. Stand for rock, no matter what. My history can't be erased. 40 years, 40 weeks, and I'm still rocking. This maximum decibels, no remorse, no regret. 40 years, 40 weeks, with no plans to ever quit. I'm rocking loud and I'm rocking proud. No one needs there is, we are fear. I stand for rock no matter what. My history can't be